Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This has been high in demand. People want to know what is CIA all about, what's happening. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. For those who are watching for the first time, welcome to this channel. For those who have subscribed, been part of the family, thank you so much once again for coming back. I go by the name of Gift Somagwabi, also known as Somake, also known as the Young Intern Auditor of the Year, 2022, also known as now the top 200 million Guardian Young South Africans in the education category. So, guys, yeah, it's been quite busy, and very soon you will see this three-letter word, the CIA, next to my name. So, anyways, I just want to do this video to sort of give you guys a bit of insight on what is the certified intern audit certification all about? This is part one of the video because with the part two, I sort of want to take you guys through a practical example of how to become a member so that you can start being eligible to actually sit down and write your exams. So a lot of you who follow the channel are probably students, so you'd probably get into the student membership with the IIA, and you will see as I dish out information and you kind of get to understand if you qualify to start preparing for your CIA exams. Tip number one, you don't need to wait until you start working. So please, guys, yeah, if you want to get this thing, don't waste any time. So let's get on to the first point. So CIA has a global footprint, right? And there are about 185,000 certified internal audit designations currently. And just disclaimer, the information that I'm giving you is from the IIA organization website. You can go and read all of this, but this is basically my summarized information and on my slides, okay? Then we have 900 plus testing centers. This is worldwide. In the country, South Africa will have them in all the different provinces, in the different cities within the provinces. So you cannot really say that you need to fly out or travel miles and miles for you to actually write your test. You can also write it at home, with the fact that you should have strong internet connection and your surroundings are clear and you would not be able to cheat. So yeah. And then it's across 150 plus countries and 14 languages in which CIA is available. So if you don't understand English, there's different languages, guys, for you to actually write this. So that's not a limitation, which is lovely. And now on to what is the CIA certification? Um, Basically, it is a certification that possesses current knowledge of the IIA's IPPF, your International Professional yeah, your framework basically, right? If you guys know what IPPF stands for. So it'll keep you up to date with the IPPF, what the IIA is saying about that. And then this enables you to perform audits in conformance with the standards. So the IPPF is basically our standards that we need to conform to as internal auditors. And then the CIA certification allows you to understand the organizational governance and apply tools and techniques to evaluate risks and controls. If you guys understand our definition, you would know that we do look at GRC, which is your governance, risk, and control. And this will basically help you understand how to tackle the issues, the risks, and evaluate controls, its adequacy and effectiveness. And lastly, it is able to apply the business IT and management acumen needed for internal audit. So remember, we deal with clients, we deal with different industries, and that means you need to be able to have some knowledge about business, knowledge about IT, because we're moving into the 4IR space. So you'd need to be able to understand systems, technologies that the businesses are using. And yeah, so then our next slides talk about why do you need to become certified? I mean, you're probably like, man, I've been studying, I got my degree, I got my honors, now I still need to get certified. It is not an easy journey, guys, but it is possible for you to be certified. So why should you be certified? Because it will increase the advancement and earning potential. I put this first because I wanted to show you guys, I know everybody likes money. So obviously the money will increase because I mean you've set yourself apart and you've gained the knowledge and yeah, you've proven yourself, right, through the professional body. So there is earning potential. Another point is it demonstrates understanding and commitment because it shows that you spend time to understand the content and the standards and what we need to do as internal auditors. So that shows that you understand at a certain level higher than your peers who are just internal auditors, and it shows your commitment as well to your designation and your career. And it also sharpens your skills and proficiencies because you will face difficult audits, you'll face difficult clients, you'll find risks that are just very high, which is known as inherent risks, and you basically need to help this organization. So it will sharpen your skills and proficiencies on how to tackle these issues. And lastly, it enhances credibility and respect. I mean, if you tell people that I'm a CIA, you have it on your LinkedIn, it just shows that, oh, okay, no, this person, much respect, you know. So guys, let's get certified. This is the reason why you should get certified. And next, so you're probably like, am I sitting for one exam and I'm done? No, you're going to do a 3-part CIA exam. There is information regarding challenge exams and all of that. I think that will come in the future videos where I explain what is a CIA challenge exam when you come from a CA or a CISA perspective. But for today, let's focus on CIA. So there are 3 parts, and each part has certain topics that align with the IPPF and require a deep understanding in order for you to actually pass all these parts. And yeah, so let's get on to part 1. So part 1 is basically the essentials of internal auditing. This is 125 questions for 150 minutes. If you guys have watched my previous videos, I have written this part and I've explained how my journey was. And yes, I didn't make it. I missed by a few points. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to give up. But back to the topic. So it will cover 15% of your fundamentals of internal auditing. So this will go more on your code of ethics, explaining each code of ethics, the principles, your objectivity, confidentiality, competencies and stuff, and the examples behind that. And then we go on to independency and objectivity, 15% as well. You know that we need to be independent as an internal audit team, you need to be objective as an internal auditor so that there's no bias, there's no influence of the mind. And then we have 18%, which is proficiency and professional care, that obviously when we do our audits, we should have that professional care, that due professional care, our proficiency, which is our skills and all of that, need to come into the audits. And then 7% is quality and assurance program, basically that states that the audits we perform have to be of obviously quality, and there should be assurance behind that in conformance with the IPPF. And it seems little because it's 7%, but guys, this topic, it's nice, but it can be underestimated and can affect your final results in the exam. And the biggest chapter, 35%, which is your GRC, your governance, risk and control, requires a lot of understanding because this is where now everything happens, where we look at the governance, the risks and the controls behind the organizations during the audit. So quite a lot. And then the last was just 10%, which speaks more to fraud, understanding fraud, the risks and how to deal with fraud or possibilities of fraud in the organization when you're doing your audits. And part 2 is the practice of internal auditing. So I have looked at this information as well, the chapter, and it's quite interesting. It has been said that it is much easier to understand this chapter once you've actually been in the audit space, you actually have some experience because you get to see how everything is done and how it combines from textbook perspective to your work experience. So if you notice, this one is 100 questions compared to part 1 being 125, and you have less time here, which is 120 minutes compared to part 1 having 150 minutes. And here we have 20% managing of internal audit activity, 20% of the planning, 40%, which is the huge chapter where it goes more into performing the engagement, your procedures, how we actually perform the field work, and then 20% is the communicating of the engagement results and monitoring progress. This is where we draft the reports. How do we communicate what we found during the performance of the engagement, and how do we follow up and monitor that all the recommendations that we've given to the client are actually happening, and the action plans that they've set and the dates that they've set to cover the gaps, are they actually doing that? So yeah, quite an interesting chapter. I'm not saying that if you don't have experience, you shouldn't go for it, but they do say that it's easier when you have experience. And the next chapter is CIA Part 3, which is business knowledge for internal auditing. Haven't looked at this chapter at all, so I can't really dive deep into it. What I can say is that they say that this chapter is quite challenging out of the three parts. But remember, everybody has different experiences. People will tell you they prefer part 3 over part 2 or 1 or whatever it is. But same as part 2, 100 questions, 120 minutes. And you'll see the biggest chapter is your business acumen, 35%. And then there's 25%, which is information security, and 20% information technology, and 20% financial management. You can see that this is a little bit different from the other two parts, because there's a lot of IT stuff here. There's a little bit of accounting as well, financial management. And this just basically goes back to what we said in the beginning, that it will help you in terms of business IT management that is needed for internal auditing. And our last slide for this video is the eligibility requirements. So I told you in the beginning that you don't have to wait for you to actually finish a certain qualification or have experience for you to actually write these exams. So what are the entry requirements? We have the master's degree. If you have a master's degree, you are eligible to apply for the CIA. You can sit before you actually get your work experience. So you could be still in varsity, you haven't been at the Big Four or any internal audit firm, and you could actually go and write. And for you to be officially certified, it would require 1 year of internal audit experience. So when you get into your training contract, within the year, you're already certified. And remember, guys, when I mean certified, it means that you can pass all 3 exams before you actually are certified, meaning that you'll write all 3. Once you get your experience, you actually get the certificate, and you can actually say that you are CIA certified. It's official. Whereas if you don't have the experience yet, you would basically say, I have passed all my parts and eligible for the CIA. Okay, and then we have the bachelor's degree. So you're also eligible to sit, and you would require 2 years internal audit experience. So this is a lot of us who have our degrees and our honors. This is where we fall under, where we would need 2 years experience. So for example, I have my BCom honors degree. When I complete all 3 parts, I will be certified. I'm already 1 year, 6 months into my training contract. So by December somewhere December next year, Jan, I would have already been eligible to be a CIA if I pass all 3 parts and I have my 2 years. And then the next entry requirement, you could have your active internal audit practitioner designation holder. You'd still be eligible, but you would need 5 years internal audit experience for you to be certified. And lastly, you probably have 5 years internal audit experience. You are also eligible, and there would be no other experience required from you because you have the 5 years. So you'd be eligible to be certified. And the last point I need you to understand is to be eligible for the program. This means that for you to actually apply to write and sit for the 3 parts, you need to meet the entry requirements, which are just on the right, which is your table, and you need to provide character reference form and government issued photo, your ID, basically, to prove that it is you, because they are very strict when it comes to writing. You cannot write for someone else. And to obtain the certification, as I said, you have to pass all 5 parts and have verification of professional experience. So I will be tackling this in the next video, where I explain how to apply. There's an application fee, then there's a payment for part 1, 2, and 3. So it's basically like 4 payments that you would have to make. And then this excludes your textbooks. That's another extra payment that you'd have to save up for. So basically, for you to get into membership, you need to have the character form. This means that somebody needs to write a testimonial or a reference letter to say that you are so and so, and this is the kind of person you are, and you're eligible, you have no criminal whatever record, and so forth, and your ID. So guys, I hope this video helped a lot, and thank you so much for watching. Please drop your questions in the comments below. Tell me what other questions you have, what you'd want to understand, and yeah, I will post the next video very soon. Thank you so much, guys.